Everybody, welcome once again to Novice to Legendary and our Monday Musings. So, just a quick little update on what's been going on in Novice to Legendary land. Ooh, what a mouthful. First off, last week I had my first actual game of War Machine. Granted, it was still pretty training wheels because I don't know the rules of the game that well. So I got to learn the basics and a little bit about how to best use my Signar battle box against a Legion of Everblight battle box, and of course, whew, got a head full of information that night. I'm very grateful, though, that he was able to take the time to explain things, even though it's very overwhelming. I'm looking forward to the game, getting another game or two, probably one, in this Wednesday. Um, and about that just one game, we did actually get to do a session of our D&D session last night. Sorry it didn't stream, but our the host of our stream sessions was at an Unleash the Archers concert, and he had a great time, although he's still partially deaf from it, so sweet. Uh, but we are going to be having Out of the Hat this week, usual usual date and time. Hence why I'm only looking at doing one game, preferably earlier in the time whenever that the War Machine group meets up, so I can hopefully have time to go back to come home and take part in that. Especially since there's quite a bit. It's actually a good bit for Shearsm this past session. Details to follow, but I feel like a major, story arc of his was at least partially resolved. I have a feeling that's not quite, but I don't really want to give my DM ideas because he seems to have plenty of them as is. So yeah, so there's that, and still plugging away at the first adventure for the Savage World setting I'm putting together. So there's your update there's a little bit of weekly updates, and again, I have a blog where I'm actually covering more of the setting there. I if everybody that joins me in the playtesting is up for it, I may even stream or record the sessions for everybody to take in. Maybe provide their input as spectators, external participants of the game. So, what now that the updates are done, what are we musing about today? Truth be told, I don't quite know. This is kind of weird. I usually have something prepared, but I'm still trying to get back in the groove after being on vacation. So, anyways, this is something I have been thinking about a bit about though, and there are plenty of other channels out there that do provide tips for players and how to make good player characters and whatnot, and I can definitely be covering that later. Um, this one was probably, one of the big tips that has always stuck out to me is, besides the fact that you want to create an actual adventurer, somebody who already has a reason to be out on, taking part in the adventuring lifestyle. I guess is also just the idea of one of the big things is, when the GM presents some kind of adventure hook, grab onto it. It's basically saying yes to adventure. And sometimes I wonder how much we could actually apply that in our own lives. Oh, so deep. Now it's tricky for me because I do um, suffer from a bit of anxiety. I mean, the first time I recorded one of these videos, the very first one, the episode 1 start, that took a lot of work for me just to get over that whole anxiety of recording and then actually uploading it for other people to see, I got pretty nervous. And sometimes I still freak out a little bit when I'm getting these things together, but I find that when I actually do make the recording, I feel a lot better after having done so. Um, so that's kind of something to kind of keep in mind is, you know, is there some kind of adventure in life that you maybe need to say yes to? Because, you could kind of say no, you could hide away from it and just kind of let the nerves and the anxieties and all this other stuff and all the what ifs and whatnot get to you. But you kind of you start doing that and you kind of become an NPC in your own life. Do you want that? I mean, I don't. I'd actually fallen into that. Um, just kind of not engaging much with the world except as like as a consumer, I guess. And that just makes me very grateful that I have a brother who dragged me, not quite kicking and screaming, but kind of, sort of, into joining this, you know, his weekly D&D games. And of course, I didn't even know that they were being streamed until sometime well afterwards. I mean, you may find one of the earlier sessions, if you look at the VODs, the VODs, I guess. At the end of it, one of them, I probably did say something along the lines of, "Wait, we were streaming this?" But I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying, jumping in with him and a bunch of his friends in the Destiny community to play that, and really to hear complete strangers asking my brother in the Twitch chat because I wasn't looking at it. I was too focused on the game. That guy, that warlock that's tagging along with you guys on the Leviathan run. Is that Shearsm? Of course, I didn't hear that. I heard my brother go, "Yes, whoever it was, that is Shears. It's my brother. He plays Shearsm in our weekly D&D games." It's like, holy crap! I'm like low level internet famous. I mean, if honestly, a few months ago, I would have thought you'd be crazy if you suggested that I was even going to be participating in a weekly streamed game with an actual audience, and that I'd be making YouTube videos where I'm actually talking into a webcam for everybody to see, and letting the whole internet see my kind of stop and start stuttery awkwardness in talking. I guess maybe I'm not that bad. And the fact that I'd be scrambling to come up with something every week and actually engaging with people on Twitter because I just don't even touch Facebook anymore. It's I would have thought you were crazy. But I have been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I mean, that's the other thing about adventuring. It's even something you find as you're role playing is you don't know where things are actually going to go. You think you have one plan in mind, and then suddenly the DM throws you a curveball. The other players in your party throw you curveballs, just like the other people in your life tend to throw curveballs. I mean, it's actually a lot to think about in this musing, but I guess what it kind of boils down to is, what do you enjoy most about art, role playing, and what have you found that is actually, you know, from playing role playing games, what lessons have you been taken from it and actually applied to your own life? That's the big thing for this week. So I hope to hear plenty from everybody about that, and let's encourage each other in this adventure we call life. So happy gaming and enjoy the road to becoming legendary.